Good morning. So today I wanted to just do a little experiment. I've got these new acrylics and I've also got some normal copying paper. Well, it's like a cream colour, but it's normal 80 GSM. Alright, and I'm going to do some salting. So I've also got some Himalayan rock salt. That was what was in the cupboard, so that's what I'm going to use. So I'm doing this new journal, and it's really cute. It's sort of got a beachy kind of seashell theme going on, and so I really wanted some more papers that were sort of mottled, and I didn't want to do a printable, so I thought I would do some salting on this paper. So let's give it a go and see how it turns out. So let's get a couple of colours out. Really nice colours, beautiful. Now I'm thinking to go with the cover. I'm thinking, so that colour there looks really nice, which is called ice cream. That looks really nice. And I'm just really liking maybe a pink, or maybe this colour, that's more, the pink there, more a pastel pink. Let's try those two colours and just see what we end up with. So what you have to do, get that out of the way for a start, what you have to do is you have to make the colour really runny, so it's sort of like an ink consistency, and then you can put the salt on and leave it to dry. So let's do one sheet at a time. So maybe we'll go with this first. This will let us see what's going on a lot easier as well. And what I might do is get my paper for underneath before we begin. Alright, that's better. Alright, so let's get my little bowl out. Put some in. Now I would say probably like a fingernail amount. And I've also got some water to add, because remember we want it really runny, like ink. Just mix that around with a brush. So that consistency now is really runny. You see that? Really runny. I'm going to put this on the page. And I guess we want to work quickly so that it doesn't dry before we get the salt on. And I guess there's no real need to cover the whole page, just wherever you like. Alright, let's get the salt on. So I took some salt out. What I'm also going to do is wet it again. The paper can take it, it's 80 GSM, so it'll be fine. That one's empty, so yeah, I'll just use this one. And just spray it again. So what you're doing is reactivating the paint and the salt crystals. And now we just have to leave it to dry. Alright, second piece of paper. I'm going to use the pastel peach now. I'm just going to use the same bowl. I've just used up what was on my paintbrush onto the paper. And I'm going to do a slightly different experiment with this one. I'm going to use just normal table salt. I'll show it to you in a minute. Stuff everybody has on their table. And try that. So just this stuff. Just normal sacks of salt. We're going to use that this time. Alright, let's make this really wet. Mix that around, make it runny like ink. Remember, it's got to be really runny so that the salt activates with the paint. Alright, let's get that onto the paper. Spread it around. This one doesn't seem to be drying out as quickly as the blue. Don't know why. So of course you could do patterns, I guess, whatever you like, but let's just do the experiment first to see how it's going to turn out. So now we're just going to have our normal salt. We'll sit over the top. The salt's turning pink. Alright, so I'm going to put that to one side and see how that one does, and we'll wait for them to dry and see which one has the best reaction. So, alright, third piece. This one I'm going to try just normal white vinegar. So a 50-50 mixture of white vinegar and water for the mixing of the paint. So let's do the pink again. About the same amount of paint. So we want to try and keep the experiment pretty, you know, the same. So 50% water, 50% vinegar. Let's see how this one goes. I don't think the paint likes the vinegar. It's sort of curdling. Paint's going strange with that. It's sort of... Anyway, there we go. Right. So spread it around again. Yeah, the paint's sort of curdling or something. It's gone a bit strange. That's right. It's just to see what it turns out like. Alright, so I'm going to use the salt crystals on the first one. They actually look really pretty against the pink. Probably because they're pink salt. Add some more water and vinegar. I just wanted to see if the vinegar helps it to oxidize more. Alright. Alright, let's put that one to one side and see how we go with that. Okay, last piece. We'll use up what is left of the pink on there, and then we're going to add the blue. It's called ice green actually, but they're really nice paints. It's spoil paints, same people that make the glue that I use. So yeah. Alright, same 50-50 vinegar and water. And this time we're just going to use normal table salt. It's definitely an ink consistency. It makes the paper really wet, which is what you want. Alright, and table salt. And then the idea is you leave it to dry completely and then you brush the salt off, and it leaves a mottled effect. So I have done this before with fabric when I was doing my rust dyeing. If you want to have a look at that video, you can. It's in one of my lists, one of my video lists on the rust dyeing. That was an awesome experiment. Alright, let's leave this one to dry. Okay, so how did we go? I've got all of them here, one under the other. So let's have a look. Right, so this is the first one with just water and paint. Alright, so let's have a look. That's up close. Alright, so now I'm going to rub the salt off. There we are, that's the first one. So what you get, I'll try and bring you up really close, is like this texture on the paper. And sometimes you might not remove all of the salt, but that's okay, because it leaves, like, your paper just feels, I don't know, nice. Feels like it's got texture. And can you imagine if you use this and the other side was a printable, and you know what it's like, you turn it over, you've got your printable on one side and you've got this on the other, and it just looks dodgy, doesn't it? So nobody likes that. So that's something that you could do, and you know, you could do anything with it. So that's the first one. All right, the second one, remember, it's just paint and water and salt. So I'm going to scrape these off, and I can do these easier than the other one. And what you'll see is where the salt's been. So with this, really it's an all over mottled effect. All right, so the paper ends up sort of just raised in places, and it just feels yummy. And you know too, it's just normal copying paper, 80 GSM, and it can take a beating, man. Like, you can do stuff with this stuff. It's really good. All right, so here, let's scrape this off. So you can see already where I'm scraping it. You can see the difference with using rock salt. You're getting loads and loads of different patterns, which look really cool. So I'm going to just take this over to the rubbish and take them off. So with the rock salt, the other good thing is you get all the salt off, if that's what you prefer. So I just wanted to show you both ways, because I use both ways. So let me just pop that in again, just next door to me. And there you have it. So that now is your finished piece of paper. It just looks yummy. It feels yummy. It's sort of scrunchable. It's got raised parts on it. The colours are all different. So, you know, if I was to fold that in half now, I could then add something else to the page, and it just looks much better than just having a blank piece of paper. So the other side might be a printable, and you might do this on the other side just to give it some texture. All right, here we go. Number 3 experiment. So with this, remember, I used, well, I've written on it V for vinegar, just so I remember. So this one I use vinegar. I used the paint really watery like ink, exactly the same as the other ones. And I use vinegar and water, half and half with this. So let's see what we've got, whether the result is any different or any better or whatever. So I can see here the salt has stuck to some parts and it's ripping the paint off. Oh, that's still all right. Gives you a grungy kind of look. And there we have it. So that there is with the vinegar and water, and this one is just with the water and the rock salt. So I don't know. I don't think there's much of a difference, to be honest. There they are together. I don't know. I do prefer this one, but I don't know if it's just because it's the colour. I really like that colour. Not sure. But I do like that. I love how it turns out. And like, you could really add to that, you know. And like I said, this paper can take a beating. So you could print on that side, do a printable. And then on the other side, you could do this and just allow it to dry. And then you're going to get that lovely kind of texture rather than having a blank page. All right, so here we go. Here's the second one. And it's got V for vinegar on it as well. So remember, I added a little bit of the pink paint in, so that's not the salt that's done that. Just use whatever was on my brush, remember? So I'm now going to go and scrape this off. I can see already that the blue salt has sort of gone a different, I mean, the salt's gone a blue colour, not blue salt, it was white salt. The salt's gone a different colour on this one, whereas it didn't on the rock salt with the vinegar. It didn't change colour, because the rock salt is already sort of funny colours anyway, isn't it? Pinks and that. All right, so let me go and scrape this off. And then we'll see how that looks. I've got my bit of paper here. Start on camera and then I'll go off camera. Oh wow, you guys, this one has turned out like brilliant. Look at that. the mottling, the different colours. I know that I used pink up here and blue, I realised that. But can you see it's done like a tie-dye all across the paper? Just looks fantastic. And it feels awesome, like rough. But the salt's all gone. So, let's have a recap. Those two were with vinegar and water, rock salt, normal salt. These two were with just water and paint, normal salt, rock salt. So the rock salt does give lots of mottling, and I love that, the different colours that come out. So you can imagine if I use different colour paints, that would be like loads and loads of different things going on that page. I just wanted to keep it simple just to show you. So that's awesome. But the big thing was with the plain salt. Look at the difference. So plain salt and just water, you're basically just getting, I don't know, like a mottled paper, I guess. But with the rock salt and the vinegar and water, you're getting like this tie-dyed effect. So there we have it. That's my experiment for today. But let me know if you try it. Let me know how it goes. And let me know if you've tried something different with salt, because I'd like to give it a go. See you then. All right. Thanks for watching. See you later. Bye-bye.